Are you ready to go from being stuck and complacent to courageous and capable of creating a business offering you the time and financial freedom you never dreamed possible? I'm excited to introduce you to Amy Porterfield, host of top-rated podcast Online Marketing Made Easy and a 9-to-5 escapee who built an 8-figure online business on her terms. Today, we talk about her new book, 2 Weeks Notice, which releases February 21st. Order now at 2weeksnoticebook.com. Welcome, everyone. With me today is a very special guest. Cue the confetti. If you know, you know. It is the Amy Porterfield. Amy, so glad to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
The honor is all mine. Now, today you're here to talk about your new book coming out in February called 2 Weeks Notice: How to Find the Courage to Quit Your Job, Make More Money, Work Where You Want, and Change the World. Love it. And I must say, if you've ever considered quitting your job, any job, this book is for you. Amy, one of the things you mention in your book is unbossing. What exactly is unbossing, and what does the process of unbossing look like?
Ooh, I love that we're starting right with unbossing. It was funny. I talked about this on another podcast and someone thought I said unboxing. And I'm like, no, we got to get the term right, unbossing. And it's this concept of beginning to believe that you do not need a boss, that you can absolutely lead yourself, that you can have the agency to decide when you work, how you work, where you work, and that you do not need to be led anymore. And the reason why this is so important is that those who are listening, those who will buy my book, they likely are still in a 9-to-5 job or maybe just transitioned out. And that was me. So 14 years ago, I left my very last corporate job. I was the director of content development for Tony Robbins. So that meant I got to travel the world. I got to work on content Tony did on stage. I got to have an amazing job. And I was good at corporate. I was good at having a boss because the boss would tell me what to do and then I would do it even better than he expected. So I got the awards and the accolades and the promotions. I got the validation that I didn't know how to give myself at the time. And so I was really good at having a boss and being in a corporate setting for many, many, many years. And then I realized one day, wait a second, I don't have freedom. I don't get to work when I want, how I want, where I want. And I started to get inspired by entrepreneurs and business owners online. And they had a life that I did not have. And they had something I wanted. At first, I felt envious. But whenever I feel envious, I think, what do they have that I want? They had a lifestyle of freedom, a business of freedom. So that's when I started to explore it. So I went out on my own. It took me about a good year from the day I decided, I think I want to be my own boss, to the day I actually became my own boss. It was a full year. And I did this runway. I did all these different things to get me there. And I outlined it in the book, How to Create a Runway to Quit Your Job. But when I quit, I looked around and thought, who's going to tell me what to do? Like, wait a second, this is all on me. My paycheck is dependent on what I do.
Right.
It's a very scary and different thing when you don't have a boss. It sounds great, but then in reality, it's very foreign when you've always had a boss. So I tell this quick story in the book, or not quick, but I tell this story in the book where I was on my own for about 4 years. And on the 4th year, I hit almost $1 million in my business, which is like a huge feat for an entrepreneur. So I had almost hit $1 million, so proud of myself. And at that time I was in a mastermind with another guy and I was asking him some strategies if he could help me with my business. And he had this idea of becoming my business partner. He said, why don't I come into your business? We'll do a 50-50 split of your business and I help you get to new heights and I'll incorporate the strategies that you love that I'm doing. I'd like to tell you that it took me weeks and weeks to decide. I'd like to tell you I called my mentor, I called my lawyer, I talked to my husband just to really make sure this was a good decision. It took one sleep. I went to bed, thought about it, woke up the next morning and told this man, yes, I will give you 50% of my business if you help me grow it. And the reason being is that I was 3.5, 4 years out of corporate, but I still hadn't totally unbossed myself. And so I didn't know what it looked like to just do this all on my own. So what happened was he became my business partner and I started calling him up like, "Oh, this isn't working. What should I do?" Or what do you want me to do today about XYZ? We'd get on a conference call. I'd walk away with 20 action items. He'd have zero. So I was really good at being led. And then it leaked into the business I had started. So fast forward a few years, we did amazing things together, grew the business to multi-million dollars, but I was so unhappy. I was like a shell of a human being. I was an employee again, to say the least. And
Right.
I woke up and said, I can't do this. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. And here I am again. So I went through a whole year of unbossing myself, like genuinely doing that. And I finally got out of the partnership. In the book, I talk about the brutal year that it took me to get out. It was really bad, but I did it. That's a very long way to say that I could have unbossed myself earlier on. You can be a 9 to 5 employee and start thinking like an entrepreneur. You can start doing things that really positions you as believing that you can lead yourself way before you ever leave your 9 to 5 job. That's what I want people to get out of the book.
I love that. And that makes so much sense because not everybody can just wake up in the morning and decide today's the day I'm going to leave with
Right.
no financial net, with
Right.
nothing set up that they're going to walk into. It's very scary. And it's not a decision that people make impulsively. Often they think about this for a long time before making the final decision, taking that final action. So the fact that you go through in your book the experience of mentally unbossing yourself and the fact that people can then do that while they're still employed before they get to that point where they actually sign the paper and give that 2 weeks notice is great information. Thank you so much for sharing that with my audience. Another thing that you talk about in the book is boss traps. Can you explain
Mm.
what boss traps are and give us a few examples?
So it's very much related to unbossing in the sense that a boss trap is getting back into the rhythm of having a boss when you don't have a boss. So a perfect example is what I did in my first year out of corporate. So I got out of corporate and I started to do social media for small businesses, service-based provider, consultant, that kind of work. And I had 8 clients, so they were paying the bills. So I was really excited. But I often joke that instead of having one big boss, Tony Robbins was a big guy, instead of having one big boss, now I had like 8 little mini bosses telling me what to do, bossing me around at every hour. And I said yes to all of them. Jump. Oh, great. How high? Do this. Sure, I'll get on a plane. I'll meet you tomorrow. I was like so desperate to keep clients or scared I wasn't going to make money that my head wasn't in the right place. I didn't feel grounded. So I just treated my clients like they were my boss. This is a boss trap, thinking that again, you need to be led and letting them lead you. It might even be super subconscious. So I created a business of a bunch of bosses, and then I had to work my way out of that. So my unbossing journey was very long, and it doesn't need to be. Another boss trap is thinking that you need to do it all by yourself. So here you are your own boss. And the trap is to think, and I can do it better than anyone I hire. And so you
Mm.
go for years not hiring anybody, maybe using contractors, freelancers, and you look around and think, why isn't my business growing? Why am I not scaling? There's no badge of honor in doing entrepreneurship all alone. I don't want to create a bunch of entrepreneurs through this book that then try to do everything on their own. It's like Superwoman or Superman syndrome. And so one of the traps is not getting the support you need early on. So I talk in the book about how to get support and who you can hire because it's so incredibly important to get a support system around you. Even if you don't have a lot of money, there's little things you can do to make sure you don't have to do this alone.
That makes a lot of sense. And I love that you share that. You share the mental aspect of unbossing that you can do while you're still employed. And then you also share some of those early boss traps, those early pitfalls. And what's so great about your book is that you outline that, you go through that trial and error, and you explain all of those things because you've done it before, and other people don't have to fall into those same pitfalls because you explain what they are so we can see them coming and avoid them. And to that end, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be and why?
Ooh, so if I went back in time, one piece of advice, there's so much that I would want to tell that girl that was leaving her 9 to 5 job and going out on her own. But one of the things that I wish I knew is that the business you create in the beginning. So anybody that's looking to leave their 9 to 5 job and they want to start their own thing, everything feels really, really set in stone. If I make this decision, and like me, I went out and I started doing social media for small businesses. That was not my end all be all. That was not my passion. It was just a way for me to get out the door and start making money on my own. I wish someone said that your business will dramatically change over the years. When you get into action, you get more clarity. So I got into action. I started doing social media for small businesses and realized I hate this. I don't like working one-on-one with people, and I don't want to do their social media. So I learned that I did not like that. I created a business I did not like. And so then I thought, well, what would I like? And then I created a digital course. And my first digital course was a huge failure. And I realized this is terrible. Like I made $267 when I thought I'd make like
ouch.
100,000. So it was not good at all. And at first I thought, I'm not cut out to do this. I'm not a good entrepreneur. But then I thought, wait a second, this didn't work because I didn't have an email list. So then I got busy on my email list, something I teach you in my book of how to do that. And so it was just like every step I took, whether it worked or not, it led me somewhere else. Action creates clarity. So get into action. And in the early years, remember, everything you do is not set in stone. You will pivot, you will grow, you will go in different directions. That's part of the journey. Give yourself grace, let yourself make the mistakes, just keep going.
And isn't that a wonderful message, particularly for my listeners and my readers who are thinking about their own changes in life and those next steps that they want to take? It's not about perfection. It's about moving forward, taking the next step, and knowing that it's okay to grow and change. Amy, amazing. 2 weeks notice, comes out late February. Do you have an
February
exact date?
21st, 2weeksnoticebook.com. That's where you go, 2weeksnoticebook.com. I have special bonuses for those that order the book, and you can buy it anywhere where you find books online or in bookstores.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I can't wait to get feedback from my readers and my listeners once they've had an opportunity to dig in. Amy Porterfield, you are so appreciated. Hope
Thank
to
you
talk
for
to you
having
again
me.
soon.
Thank you, friend. Take care.
Take care. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the show notes for free downloadable resources. Catch you next time.